Hello. This is a timeless channeled message meant to find you whenever this finds you. So the tarot cards we have for this reading are Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and Six of Swords. I keep hearing internally the right place to plant it. Like, if I were to tell a story, it's like, figuratively speaking, I see that you're being given a seed and you're trying to find the right plot of soil to plant this idea. So, for a lot of you, okay, this feels like some type of business, some type of venture where you need to find the right place to execute this in order to make it real. Okay, let's say you're starting a brand of some sort. It's like deciding if you're gonna be on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever your social media is, and deciding one place where you're going to start instead of spreading it all out at once. I feel like there's this aspect of singularity here, specifically with the Ace of Pentacles or the Page of Pentacles. It does feel like a new beginning or start to something, but you're being encouraged to start small. Like, you're ready to invest into it, you're ready to invest time and effort, but I see that this will take planning or methodology. With the Six of Swords at the end of this, I feel like, okay, so the way that I'm interpreting it as a scene right now is that this person, or this man is looking for a place to settle down with his family, trying to figure out where he's going to put his roots down. I feel like, again, a lot of this is figurative for some type of business, some type of venture that you have in mind. So I feel like a lot of the message here is about like discerning where the right place to put this is, where the right place to seed something or root it is. So we're gonna get some clarifiers for all of this. I'm gonna ask Spirit, can you tell me a little bit more about the Ace of Pentacles? Why is the Ace of Pentacles here? All right, so the cards we have are the High Priestess, King of Pentacles, and Temperance. Okay, so I feel like you already have a hunch on how it's supposed to start. Specifically with the High Priestess, I think that you're going based off of your intuition on where you feel you are most likely to find success in whatever this adventure is. So I guess the major thing that I saw is if you're starting a social media for something, you're deciding what platform you engage on. But if this isn't directly about social media, this could also be about establishing your first few clients, establishing something that, let me say this, again, just establishing roots, a solid foundation that you can work off of. With the High Priestess and the King of Pentacles, though, it does feel like something that you have expertise on. Like, whatever it is that you're offering, whatever this business is, it is something that you are quite good at. And because you're good at it, you already have an idea of how it could work. Maybe you're looking at other people that you follow or that you like, and you're taking them as an example. But with Temperance here, I feel like this is something that you're also meant to experiment on, like trial and error, trying to see what works and what doesn't work. So I've said this before to a few other people, but generally speaking, with the path of art, it is trial and error. It is about repetition and then trying to figure things out and adjust as you go along, because it's more important that it exists than it is like needing everything to be perfect or needing everything to be exactly precisely what it should be, because a part of it is figuring it out along the way. Whatever your idea of perfection is, you can achieve that over time, and there's no need to make it like so absolutely jaw-droppingly perfect at the very beginning. Just again, allowing it to be, allowing the roots to settle in, will help you figure out what the next right step is. So we'll get some clarifiers on the next card. Spirit, can you tell me more about the Page of Pentacles? Why is the Page of Pentacles here? I heard dip your toes in the water. So maybe even though you're good at this business or whatever it is you're trying to make, this aspect of like advertising, this aspect of needing to put it out there, that feels new. So again, you're being asked to experiment, you're being asked to try it out and see how you feel about it, because that's a different kind of skill set. All right, for Page of Pentacles, we have Eight of Cups, Knight of Pentacles, and Justice. Okay. With this Eight of Cups, I feel like there's this desire to move on from this. Okay, wait. Let me re-describe that. There's this desire to keep progressing forward, where it's like, let's say you take the first step, you let it exist, and you don't pay it too much mind because you're already focusing on what the next thing is you're supposed to do. There's something about allowing yourself to do that or not overthink it that actually helps you quite a bit. Knight of Pentacles is talking to me about a steady progression, where it's like, I feel like the image that I'm getting is like one step at a time up a staircase. They're showing me that like every time you do something, every time you experiment, it's just another step forward. It's not about rushing the process or trying to skip steps. It's about taking every step that as it is, because you can learn something from every step that you take. All right. Oh, with Justice, there is that sense of adjustment that occurs, again, with every trial and error, with every step that you walk forward and you take for yourself. Again, I keep seeing this image of like you trying to figure out what works and then also what doesn't work, but you can only find out what does or doesn't work by doing the thing. Like, you can plan it out a lot as you wish, and it's good to have plans, but ultimately it's about executing them and figuring out how they work in a practical sense, because how you plan things out might not be how things work in practicality. Again, you're being asked to trust your talent or your knowledge or your skills regarding this thing, but understanding that this ability to put it out there, for some reason that feels new, like maybe it's a talent that you're now exposing or showing to the world. How you're presenting it is a new skill to develop, something to like see as a part of your toolkit, something to add on to it. But again, have confidence in the work that you're putting or that you're doing, because it is of a good enough quality. It feels like high enough to keep going. The image that I'm getting, especially when I look at the Eight of Cups, is I'm seeing like a potter. If you know anything about pottery, they usually have to make a lot of the same thing over and over again, and they have to let go of the expectation that everything will turn out perfectly, because more often than not, there's going to be mistakes. There's going to be like some failed or shattered attempts at doing pottery, and that is all a part of the process. There's something here about understanding that you may not win all the time. That is a part of the process, but again, the value is just in doing it, and I don't even see it as I don't see it as being of a personal cost to you. It's more like an investment, is how I'll put it. Not even an investment in money, but more like an investment of time, an investment of energy, an investment of effort. Ultimately, all of this will add to whatever this art, whatever this thing it is that you're creating. So we're going to move on to that last card. Spirit, can you tell me a bit more about the Six of Swords? Why is the Six of Swords here? Ooh, we got one card that flew out. That is the Ten of Wands. We also have Five of Cups and Knight of Cups. Okay, they're showing me that this Ten of Wands may actually signify your past, just like the experiences that you've drawn on. I feel, especially because in the Five of Cups, he's looking backwards towards the past. I feel like you've experienced quite a bit of failures already regarding some type of art or something that you're passionate about, specifically in regards to this project. But here's the good thing. Because you've already experienced those failures, you're not going to repeat them. You already did the work. You already put in a lot of the mileage regarding this, which is why the product you're putting forward, it feels like expert, or that you have an expertise regarding this. Adopting that mindset moving forward again, like a beginner's mindset, or seeing whenever something doesn't go out your way, that just understanding that it's a part of the process, a part of the needing to do it over and over again and putting the repetition in. Something about approaching this with joy can help you in the long run, because it feels like a natural state to you. Like you've been through this process of trial and error, going through it over and over again to the point where it feels like second nature to you, or you understand how it goes. So riding that ebb and flow, figuring out how what you have, it's like the sum of everything. Because if you were to think about like visual artists out there, like painters, sometimes we only see their masterpieces, but we don't see whatever it took to get there. Like all of these different weird pieces or things that didn't work on a technical scale that led to this masterpiece. Okay, the term I'm getting internally is the quote, "The master has failed more times than the student has tried." You are no longer considered a student in whatever this thing that you've mastered is, but you're a student in a different kind of aspect. So don't be afraid to make mistakes or to look kind of silly in whatever. The word I want to use is presentation. Like, again, I see you, the narrative that I'm getting, so this may resonate in different ways for all of you. I'm getting that you are a good artist, but there's like a different aspect to this, like a business aspect or an advertisement aspect that needs to be worked on. And it's again approaching that pragmatic, practical aspect in the same way that you approach your art. Understand that it's, again, a trial and error process, and it's something that you're going to have to figure out over time through doing. It's a pretty concise message from what I'm seeing, so I'll leave it at that. If this message resonated with you, please leave me a like and a comment. I would love to hear more about it. And if you're interested in a personal reading from me, my Ko-fi link is in the description down below. There you can leave me a tip or hire me for a personal reading. So, until next time, take care. Bye-bye.